Okay, so gaslighting, I just recorded a couple other videos for it. Or did I? Just kidding. Okay, so, they say that the people that, gaslight the most are, people with, cluster B personality disorders. And that's going to be something that is narcissists. They think that they're better than everyone. Or antisocial. They will perform actions outside of what is normal for within the social rules if they get offended about something. Or borderline personality disorder, where it's like you kind of feel like you have a little bit of splits going on. And a lot of times, one of those personalities will be really aggressive. And then another type is going to be, this is this. Okay. And then the last one would be histrionic, which would be doing things that are a little bit different and awkward because that person wants to retain the center of attention. Okay. So, where was I? Cause for research for cause to effect. Okay, so why would people who have a tendency to inflate their ego or display things that are a little bit outside of social norm be the ones that are gaslighting? Okay, so if you see how this is right now, how I feel like I'm kind of wandering and I'm not really sure where my conversation is going. That is a clear sign or indication of some sort of mental looping. And that's one thing to be aware of when you feel like you are being gaslit, is that sometimes you'll be having a conversation and you're not completely sure where you were going from there. So that's one sign to stay aware of. And another thing for kind of the solution on that too is to just keep going. Because sometimes it's kind of like mind foraging, and if you think about it like a game, maybe not necessarily like a game, but I'm gonna go discover gold, and it's an adventure and it's kind of dangerous, but I might make myself look really stupid and foolish, but who cares? Because it's fun, and it is what it is. That's a big thing that I've seen for actually having a little bit of success in maintaining my own personal sense of worth. When I do feel like I am being gaslit, or when I feel like my own mind is going on a loop, a lot of times it's a little bit easier if I am more accepting and open with the path that my mind is trying to take, and just allow it to work itself out. I might need to re-record that. Or I can just leave it. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh yeah! Gaslighting! Experience! Research for cause to effect. Okay, so something that I said in my last video was, and sometimes it's helpful to just go back to the beginning and then you can like retain the path that you were going on initially. Okay, so what I was saying with the how. Okay, let's try it again. Try it again. Okay. Okay. Gaslighting. Why would these people feel the need to exaggerate their own personal ego and their own personal sense of worth? Okay, so I have one theory. One theory is that for people who have like antisocial like tendencies or behavior patterns, a lot of times it's because, or like they've kind of found like some genetic links, or so I hear. And the biggest thing about that is that people who have these like antisocial tendencies usually have had someone influential in their life portray these antisocial tendencies to them. Okay, so what that kind of environment is it's an environment of extreme disappointment, blame, super degrading, and you're worthless, and like all this kind of stuff. So, in order to retain that sense of worth and that sense of self, sometimes it goes the opposite direction. I actually recently just listened to a podcast with Paris Hilton, and a lot of people would see her as like, oh, she's the it girl. That's she's got to have at least a little bit of narcissistic type like behavior thought patterns in order to like deal with all the criticism and all that kind of stuff that goes on the media and all this type of stuff. And then now you hear that she is like working in a whole bunch of social causes as far as like privatized education, and the way that some of those privatized educations actually degrade and tell their students that they're worthless. Okay, to compensate, they have a higher elevation of ego that allows them to be more successful. And I know that that is probably going to piss a lot of people off. And that's only because you're interpreting it from a suffering is beneficial to my personal image standpoint. Whereas if you see it as that suffering was meant to make me stronger so that I could portray myself in an elevated sense, I don't know. I would prefer to not see myself as like the victim. I would prefer to see myself as like the one who rose above. But that's just me. Okay, so that was actually the second theory. The first theory I was talking about was going to be in the excessive amount of like disappointment type energy that a person is fed in order to create these different like trauma personalities, which it's going to be like the creation of a radical. It's like you're breaking apart a person and it creates multiple, or like it creates more. Okay, so that was a little off topic too. Back to the first theory. So the first theory was going to be about, I hope you guys can follow along. Oh, wait. Thank you guys for following along. Okay, so it's going to be about how I was talking about with alcohol, how you build up a tolerance to it, and then you don't really feel the effects of it anymore. Okay, so someone who is bombarded with I'm so disappointed in you, and like all of these different kind of things, then okay, see, I just gaslit myself, but that's okay. All right, so it would be the same type of idea of oh, my computer just went black. Okay, so it would be that same kind of idea of numbing out the guilt and shame receptors within your soul. Okay, so if you take a lot of Molly, then it makes it so that you can't receive like the normal amount of pleasure because your receptors are numb. Okay, so for someone that has antisocial or narcissistic, or like a lot of the different cluster B personality types, it's going to be because their receptors of shame and guilt or remorse are numb. It makes it so that they are less likely to continue going on with specific social rules and norms, because they just don't care, because they're numb.